Hey, wait.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hey, I got your message. So you guys are probably going to try to target the next roundtable, I guess.
Yes, we
Okay.
will.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna sit in and see what the topics are. So
No, makes sense. Let's do this. Can you see my screen?
yes,
Wait. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. What about now? Do you see the large? You don't see the large set, do you?
I see kind of the entire every next slide notes and
Oh yeah, yeah. So let's
whatnot.
switch that out. How about now?
Okay, now, yeah,
Okay, perfect. Okay. Uh, I appreciate that though. Let's stop share for a second here. Okay, good.
yeah, and
Okay.
it says it's recording right now. So
Yeah, and I
definitely
don't
that for
mind.
now. Okay,
I'd rather do it now and then me forgetting.
yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Antonia.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good, good.
That's good to hear people are doing fabulous. That's good. I love that energy. We got an update from DK today with Lydia. I don't know if there's anything you want to add today. I don't have you officially on the calendar, but you are more than welcome if you have anything you want to share.
Okay, wonderful. I would love to, at some point, I would love to just let the team know that the Austin art showcase work is now going to be able to be seen in the 3 libraries in Austin. And that way they can share it with their network. So thank you.
You know what? Yeah, why don't we just we'll take a moment today to kind of make sure people hear that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, Margaret, how are you?
Hey, Jim, that was a great event yesterday.
Wasn't that a great event yesterday?
Oh my gosh, the commissioner was on fire, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He got his James Brown on and
Yeah, he
everything
was-
yesterday. I was so
Yeah.
impressed.
We will not let him live that one down over here. That was outstanding.
I thought he was getting ready to slide across the stage.
Yeah. But no, what a really nice event. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
That hit the right tone.
Yes.
So yeah, no, we were thrilled to death to be a part of that. We really were.
And three great awards again. I'm just, I think everybody in the whole city is just really ecstatic about, the $1+ billion that, in the history, I don't think in this whole time, there's never been that kind of economic, sharedness with Black developers and Black and brown developers to be able to rebuild communities. And I think that is just phenomenal.
No,
and it really is a national model.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's funny you should say that. The commissioner is right. People are looking at this across the city.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at what we're doing in corridors like Austin, across the city, across the country.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, people are paying attention to this work. Which, again, it's an exciting time to be doing this. What a thrill to be doing this work at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's phenomenal. You guys are doing a great job.
Well,
we'll be coming to you very shortly with our revised project on Chicago Avenue.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I look forward to that. I do.
I look forward to it also.
So we're going to give it it's a few minutes after 2. I want to give it a few more minutes to give people a chance to join. Liz, how are you? I know you're heading our way too. You're coming our way.
Could y'all tell somebody something, like, I don't know, in the next, when are y'all gonna make some at least phone calls?
Well, I think due diligence is being done at this point. But you're on people's lips, at least in the building I'm in. So it's very exciting.
That's great. Fresh market.
Yay. Development is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, particularly when you get in the weeds. It's fun. It's fun when you get in the weeds.
Very weedy over here.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're just gonna give it maybe it's 12:03. I want to give it to at least 12:05, so we'll give it a minute and a half. We'll get going.
Okay, that's fair.
Corey, I thought I saw you on the call. You're ready to go. I got your slides in. Thank you so much, sir, for that. And I'm looking to see Lydia. Lydia, there you are. Okay.
Good morning, Jim.
Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon now.
Yeah, no kidding. How did you like the event yesterday, Corey?
Oh man, that was phenomenal. My favorite part was when Commissioner Cox got up there. Man, he showed out. And he played the payback. Man, that definitely, in an environment like that, I was very surprised that he let loose, and man, that was pretty cool.
He might have to start a new career. Is that what you're saying? He might have to.
It might be. Look, they have to add that to his job description because that worked.
That's good. Okay. Did Caroline get a chance to join us? Can anybody see? And has the Alderman?
I'm here,
got a chance
Jim.
to join us? You're here, Caroline? Okay, that's good. What about Alderman Mitz? Has she got a chance to join?
She's not here yet, but I do know.
Text her.
Yeah, that'd be great, Margaret.
Are you gonna ping her, Margaret?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You know what else was so interesting yesterday? Everybody was just dressed so well yesterday. I mean, it's just good to see everybody just out and fresh. And you know, I really miss that.
It was nice to finally meet you in person, Jim. We have
that too, Gus. You're right.
We have been interacting so long behind these screens that it was really nice to see people in person. And I was surprised how many people can be identified just from the nose up
right.
with the mask on.
You're right. You know, people you thought was shorties are like 6'4", and people you thought that was tall are like, 5'5", that type of thing. So, Margaret, were you able to reach the Alderman?
I sent her a text.
Okay.
And her chief of staff a text.
Okay, fantastic. So I tell you what, just for the sake of time, I'm going to get started. If she jumps on, we'll give her a chance to greet everybody. I'm going to grab the screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the Austin Soul City Roundtable for November. We have a very short and sweet program today. I'm going to do what we normally do, which is give a quick brief overview of what we're doing in terms of Invest South and West. We're going to have Caroline Rendon from LISC talk about an upcoming survey that's going to give everybody an opportunity to chime in terms of what this platform has been and how impactful has it been over the course of the last 18 months. And believe it or not, it's been about 18 months since we got this started. Lydia Ross from DCASE is going to be making an announcement calling for artists for 2 upcoming programs. I am going to do another quick brief overview of the TIF Purchase Rehab program that I think should be playing a big role in terms of helping to activate some of the more vacant properties along the corridor, and want to make sure that everybody on this call is up to date with what this program is and how it could be impactful to the corridor. And then Malcolm Crawford and Corey will be just giving us an update and literally a look back in terms of kind of what's been happening and what has actually been accomplished along the corridor over the course of the last year. And then obviously, I will give an opportunity for us to look ahead and look at what the next date for the next roundtable will be. So, we had a wonderful event yesterday at the South Shore Cultural Center, where Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Commissioner Cox literally announced 3 more RFP winners. It was in Humboldt Park, both on Chicago Avenue and on North Avenue, and also in the South Shore area, which was a place right at 79th and Exchange. The energy in that room and the tone that's being set by this administration, in my opinion, can't be ignored now. We're on to something, and time is going to seriously tell us what it is that we're actually going to get done. But we are in the middle of something, and something very powerful, something very palatable. And Soul City is been one of the lead corridors in terms of helping this initiative. We have demonstrated here that we can marshal the resources of our city departments, that we can help spur economic development by talking to the community and engaging the community. And as a result of some of the work and some of that activity, we're going to start to see the fruits of this labor very quickly in 2022. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that. Before we get started, we always want to talk about our community agreements. Please mute yourself during the presentation. Make sure when you talk, state your name when you're speaking so we know who's on the call. Please use the Zoom function Q&A. I've got Ernest Bellamy on the call who can help address and respond to some of those questions. You certainly are free to raise your hand. All questions, as you guys know, and ideals are valid, and we're going to respect everybody on this call. So with that, I want to go ahead and turn it over to Caroline Rendon from List Chicago, who's going to give you guys a preview of what we've got coming over the course of the next couple of weeks. Caroline, are you on the call?
Yes, thanks, Jim, and happy Friday, everybody. I'll be very quick. I just want to give everybody a heads up that you will be receiving a link to a survey following this meeting from Jim and Ernest. And that survey is about your experience on the roundtable thus far. So we're rounding out about a year and a half worth of monthly neighborhood roundtables in Austin and in the other communities that are involved in Invest Southwest. And so it's a good time to reflect on what's working about those roundtables and brainstorm some ways that we can make them even more effective as a forum for community input, as a place to share updates and ideas on developments in the neighborhood and so forth. So just please be on the lookout for that survey. It'll be a link that Jim sends out. And I can also put it in the chat towards the end of this meeting as well. If there's anyone on the call who's interested in seeing a paper version of that survey, I can also provide versions of that if it's easier for some folks to fill out a paper version rather than an online. This is for anyone who's attended all, some, one roundtable here in Austin, we want to hear from as many people as possible just to understand how it's going and what you'd like to see moving forward. So this is your heads up. You'll see that survey link come through after the meeting. Did I miss anything, Jim, or does that cover it?
No, I think you covered it beautifully. And by the way, I'm so comfortable here. I forgot to make sure I introduced myself. I know mostly everybody on the call, but I'm Jim Harbin. I'm a deputy commissioner here with the Department of Planning and Development. And no, Caroline, you did a great job. The only thing I will add is that we are going to circle back once we get those responses and really commit a full roundtable to kind of going over those responses and making sure that we're clear in terms of what we heard and what you guys responded to. So I look forward to that. I think it's a great time to do a reflection, given that we've been doing a lot of work over the course of the last 18 months. And yeah, if we get a chance to tweak this and improve it, we should by all means be looking and leaning into that. So no, thank you so much for that, Caroline. Did anybody have any questions before we move on? Okay, with that, we're going to go to our next presenter. Lydia, I saw you on the call. I know you have an exciting update for us from D-Case. Are you ready over there? Are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think we have 2 slides. So there's two opportunities. I'm really excited to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar names and faces. I'm Lydia Ross. I'm the Director of Public Art over at the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, or DCASE. This application is closing on Sunday, which happens to be my birthday. So really want to see a strong showing from our Austin community. I want to thank Alderman Mitz, who I believe is on the call, for being such a strong advocate for public art as part of this new construction. We are working closely with our city partners to commission a $500,000. There's a $500,000 opportunity for public art integrated with the Joint Public Safety Training Campus. You can see on the screen there are 2 kind of identified large-scale opportunities for where public art can be integrated into the construction. One is along kind of concrete embankment on the western side of the construction. This is along Chicago Avenue. And the other is an opportunity for integrated work in a large public plaza that will sit between a future Boys and Girls Club and the JPSTC facility. So we have a lot of applications in already, but this is a final call, especially for Austin artists and their teams, to get your applications in. We have a wonderful selection panel of community residents, professional artists, the project architects, city partners. We'll be reviewing those over the next few weeks. This call right now is a request for qualifications. We're trying to make the application as simple as possible. It's really a chance to understand who you are, your interest in the project, and see a portfolio of your work. There is a link provided here, and I'll put it in the chat after I'm done, to get the full request for qualifications and the link to access Cafe, which is our call for entry online application system. After we select roughly 3 to 4 finalist teams, those finalists will all receive a $2,500 honorarium to develop full proposals, and that will be done in consultation and support with the DCASE team, as well as the project architects and community residents. So that is the first opportunity, again, due this Sunday. Next, we have been busy working as partners with Invest Southwest for public art in through our artist in residence programs in Austin, Auburn Gresham, Inglewood, and New City Back of the Yards. Public art also has a seat at the table for the city's capital plan. So as part of the larger 5-year capital plan announced last year by Mayor Lightfoot, DCASE is working closely with DPD and the Department of Transportation to really map out public art opportunities across the city, but rooted in our 10 Invest Southwest neighborhoods and roughly 12 total commercial corridors. So we are seeking urban planners, designers, artists, other consultants with this kind of experience to help lead a community engagement process that will result in public art vision plans for each of the 10 Invest Southwest neighborhoods. These plans will result in open calls or competitive calls for public art opportunities, permanent public art opportunities in the neighborhoods. We are casting a wide net. We have 10 neighborhoods, but we're kind of looking for interested applicants to apply and tell us, are you really anchored in the Austin neighborhood? Are you interested, and do you have the capacity and experience to kind of lead, a region on the west side? So ultimately, we will have a team. We're not looking just for one group or one person to oversee 10 neighborhoods, but really looking to put together a constellation of fantastic and creative consultants with really strong community engagement and administrative chops to help us work with residents to articulate the visions for transforming the visual landscape of our neighborhoods. So there's a little more time on that one, a little under a month. That's due December 12th. There again is more information at the link included in the slideshow. I will pop that in the chat. We had a great information session earlier this week. The Zoom recording from that is on the DCASE website. And you can always email me or the public art team for questions about either opportunity. So when I'm done talking, I'll reiterate those links and my email in the chat, but happy to answer questions. And Jim, thanks for giving me some time.
No, thank you. Are there any questions for Lydia and her team?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
What birthday is this for Lydia? I'm just kidding. I was just playing. Let's keep going.
Yeah, you are playing with fire now. You know that, right? Okay.
Appreciate your question, Malcolm. All questions are valid but I'm not going to answer that one.
That's good. By the way, happy birthday, Lydia. Happy birthday. We wish you well.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Speaking of which, you guys could tell I had Antonio on my mind. I know, Antonio, you're on the call. In the theme of, artwork being done along the corridor, I know you had a quick update for us or a quick announcement. Do you want to go ahead and share that right now?
Absolutely. First of all, good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to share. So we did have the Austin Art Showcase work on Chicago Avenue, and I'm just excited about the people that were partnering with us. And just to let you all know that you can share with other people that that work is now being seen in the libraries in Austin. So as of this week, we did an installation at the North Austin Branch Library, which is right on North Avenue. And it looks amazing. And we did some documentation of that, and we should have some pictures of that. And then also after the second week of January, the Austin Branch Library and the West Chicago Library will also be activated. So if you missed it in the fall, this is an opportunity for people to be able to see it in the comfort of our own libraries. And just please share that out. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you so much for that update. I also understand that Alderman Mitchell gotten a chance to join us. Did you just want to say a few words that you want to welcome the group before we continue?
Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jim, for hosting the event again. And it's glad to see everyone on the call. It's exciting for Lydia. You'll be talking about the work that we're doing with the Joint Public Safety Training Academy in terms of the artwork and all the artwork that going on in the community. I think that this is a great opportunity for us to really start capturing our history. Malcolm always talk about the little village, and he want to make the West Side a reflection of the people who live there on Chicago Avenue. So we're grateful to have something that we can call our own in these times. I also wanted to highlight the opportunities that are going on in 37 Ward and on the west side of Chicago. We have a lot of work that's being done through the Invest Southwest program, through partners who just want to come in and redo business. And I'm not sure, Jim, if this have came before you yet, but they are also looking to rent out the old streets and sanitation ward yard and have a fresh hub to come there. So if not, Malcolm, we need to get in touch with them, and so you can figure out. I told them on a call yesterday to reach out to you as the liaison for the avenue, make sure you're engaged in these conversations as we continue to move forward. We want to make sure we have some fresh produce in the area. We were on a call yesterday talking about Save a Lot location and trying to make sure food equity is not a problem within our community, and people can access the right types of food. Health and wellness is one of the things that we want to keep at our forefront as we continue to navigate through this pandemic. There are a lot of, if you look around there in a war, we have a lot of projects that are going on. We got the Amazon project, the terminal project, we have the youth center being built, in addition to all the projects on the Joint Public Safety, Boys and Girls Clubs, the Peaches and Clovers, looking at the Invest Southwest project for the Laramie State Bank building. And right now, as I think that I know of, that the city is still waiting to take possession of the property. That may not have occurred as of yet, but we are putting in $500,000 to make sure that the roof is stabilized and that it don't collapse during the winter months, where we are just getting ready to go into, so that the structure can stay sound, as it is a landmark building. We want to keep it in good condition as much as possible for the safety. And then we're looking at doing a addition to the PPC Wellness Center over on Lake Street. These are all projects that are in the works as we speak. Even though, as it seems to me, we're going through the redistricting process at the same time. And I seem to, like, my colleagues are trying to take all my hard work from me now, and they weren't in that war. So I gotta fight on both ends to try to keep what I've worked hard to develop for the community, in addition to making sure I'm trying to share with the community what is being done along the way. So I'm welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for being here with us. Wishing all of you a safe, peaceful, and a happy Thanksgiving season. When as we head into the Christmas, remember the reason for these seasons. It's not about so much all of the things that you can go out and buy, but truly about the love and the recreation of our hearts and minds and soul. So thank you so much. God bless all of you and welcome each and every one of you.
Okay, well, thank you, Alderman. Thank you for being on the call today.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. Speaking of investment and activity that has happened along the corridor, one of the things that I want to make sure that we are very intentional about, particularly as we curl into 2022, is what is next on the horizon. And one of the tools that we just tweaked, and I gave this presentation, I think, a couple of months ago, but I think it's also worthwhile to go ahead and just do a quick recap of the TIF Purchase Rehab program. It's actually a program that the commissioner is beginning to call the missing middle. Now, we've got programs that tap into some city incentive programs like the Small Business Improvement Fund, the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, where we literally are targeting small businesses who are renovating storefronts, and in many cases, some of the buildings in those storefronts. And then we have, the larger projects, like the Training Academy and like the RFP site at Laramie and Chicago Avenue. But there is a missing middle out there that the commissioner literally charged planning, myself, on the Department of Housing. I have a gentleman that you guys know very well, Will Edwards. Him and I have been really kind of looking at this program and seeing how we could tweak it to make it have more teeth and more accessibility to some of the investors and some of the developers who may be on this call, who might not necessarily be chasing, those large projects like the Laramie State Building, or maybe are not necessarily looking to open up that storefront, but provide spaces for those entrepreneurs who want to utilize those type of spaces. We think we found a way and a program that will help support that. And I think it's just important that you guys understand how this program works. So, sometimes it takes a little time to kind of get through this, but this is a program that was launched back in 2011. And it was literally designed to help developers acquire and rehab vacant multifamily residential properties. And I say those words emphasizing vacant and multifamily residential, because those are the only ways that this program could have been triggered. One of the other things that was required for this program is that there had to be a purchase. So in other words, there had to be a transaction for this program to be literally lit up. But what it really said, and there's a lot of information here, but if you look at it simply this way, if there was going to be some commitment to affordability, and in this case, affordability means, at least the incomes had to be 50% of the average median income for the Chicagoland area. And so if you were attracting families, working families who fit this criteria, if you were a developer interested in committing to either 30% of the units that you were renovating up to 50% of the units that you were renovating, and committed to making sure that they were affordable, and if you were providing a renovation cost of up to $25,000, in other words, you was putting some dollars into these units to make sure that they were up to par for any family interested in renting these particular units, then the city was prepared to match your commitment with providing assistance to either 30, 40, or 50% of your total project costs. And when I say total, that included not just the renovation, but in the case of it being a purchase, that purchase price was included as well. And so, again, the requirements then is that there had to at least be 6 units involved for this program to be triggered. And that commitment that we were after, there had to be a commitment of 15 years. Well, subsequently, we have went to city council and we literally walked this by every elected official, every alderman in the city, and put this to a vote with city council, who overwhelmingly approved not only the program being reactivated, but reactivated with some adjustments. And so the biggest adjustment that I need to point to, I think, is the fact that we were chasing 6 units before. Now you only need 5 units to trigger this program. And what's so significant about that is that the 5 units doesn't necessarily have to be in the same building. And what I mean when I say that is that if you're within a 2-block radius of one of the projects that you are making this commitment to, and you have some iteration of 5 residential units, whether it be 2 residential units and 3, whether it be 4 and 1, as long as you got to 5 within 2 blocks, you trigger this program. We also raised the bar in terms of what the average median income requirement was to be. So as opposed to 50%, we raised it to at least 80% of the median income in order to make sure that developers, particularly local developers, particularly diverse developers, had a chance to make sure that they were attracting individuals and families with rents that were in line with the market, but also affordable. We kept the percentages in terms of the commitment, either 30, 40, or 50%. We reduced the amount of dollars required per unit in terms of the renovation. We have found that since 2011, someone understanding what they're doing could provide a very high quality unit at $10,000 per unit. We still would match if there was a 30% commitment on the units that were being renovated. We would match with 30%. If there was a 50% commitment, we would match with 50% of that total project cost. And we also reduced the affordability period. So after 10 years, those units could literally become market rate. And so the changes, just to make sure that that this is clear. Now, and I missed another important point that I think also should be highlighted. Before this project, this incentive was triggered by a transaction. You had to be purchasing a property in order to trigger it. Now we have it where you can not just have a building that's vacant, it can be partially occupied, but it can also be eligible for existing owners. So now there doesn't have to be a transaction. It could be a building you just purchased. It could be a building that you've had for years. It could be a building that's been in your family. As long as you're willing to engage that affordability, you will now qualify for this program. One of the other tweaks that we made to the program is that now it's not just residential spaces that qualify for this program. The commercial component of a building, and more so those mixed-use buildings that you see all along Chicago Avenue, now we can use these dollars. And by the way, for the first time that we can recall, where now there's a tool to help renovate these buildings, not just the residential pieces, but also the commercial piece as well. We want to make sure that the applicants for this program are good players with the city. So, if there's someone who, has tax issues with the building or code violations or, haven't or tickets or scofflaws, we're going to be checking into that. I mean, we don't want to have bad players participating in this. But otherwise, we think this is an exciting tool that's going to be used across the city, but particularly along Chicago Avenue to help bring some of these existing buildings back to life. So what does that look like? So before, the profile was a building like this. This is on 521 North Harbin. There was an 8-unit building, and this particular investor actually purchased it. He made a commitment of 40% of the units, or 3 of those units, to be affordable. And as a result of him having a project that was roughly about $1 million, because of his commitment to 40%, we, the city, came in at $400,000 or 40% of that million. And this is what housing and Department of Planning saw when we looked at this. $400,000 assistance could attract a $600,000 additional investment into a community. We could do this all day long, guys, particularly along the Chicago Avenue corridor. And so what we're chasing is this type of profile where you see the residential units at the top and you see these commercial units at the bottom. For the first time, we've got a tool that can do both simultaneously. Before, you could use TIF potentially to do this at the top in terms of the residential renovation. We had to go into another incentive program to help support the individual storefronts. This is a tool now in which we can do it all comprehensively. And you guys know that there are buildings like this peppered throughout the city, but particularly on Chicago Avenue. And I want many on this call who are interested in this type of investment, interested in this type of activity, to be aware that this program is now live and well and is hoping to attract investors, and particularly local investors, local entrepreneurs who do this type of work to get engaged into this program. You know, the comparison to me is just striking. What used to be where we had to have a vacant, residential only new owners, a threshold of $25,000, 50% AMI, and a 15-year commitment now has become a 10-year commitment, 80% AMI, a threshold of only $10,000. We can now target new and existing owners. We can now do residential and commercial, and the buildings doesn't have to be vacant. It can still be partially occupied and also engage this program. So the objectives, you know, we want to target these smaller mixed use or that missing middle that the commissioner alludes to. We want to provide this enhanced tool for more diverse developers to get into the game. And we want to also allow existing owners to participate who historically had to literally be on the sideline because there wasn't necessarily the tools for them to do the renovation that they may have hoped for. So this is a reminder for and a recap for most of you. You know, this is something that both Will and I are having as one of our premier projects for 2022. If anybody is interested in hearing more information about this program, or, and more importantly, if you've got a project that you think might fit, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will make sure I leave my contact information in the chat before the call, even though I think most of you have my information already. Yeah, let's start the conversation because we have a number of these type of buildings that are waiting for the right investor to come to the table and bring them back to life. And as you guys know, we have a number of entrepreneurs who are looking for spaces to occupy in order for them to do their thing. And we want to make sure we help support them. So with that, I will take some quick questions if anybody has it.
I have a question.
Sure.
As far as calculating the income and the low to moderate income and the rental amount, will you all accept, like, let's say if we allow Section 8 voucher holders inside the property, would that be considered, would that meet the requirement for the rental? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's you, Latricia. That the short answer is yes, but the longer answer is, you know, with the city support, you know, we don't want to discourage that type of investment, but what we do want to do is encourage. You know, there's a number of working families, a number of young working families who are looking for spaces who may not necessarily need that voucher. So we really want to pay attention and not ignore that constituent as well, if that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. And the minimum amount of units is a total of 5 units, and that includes the commercial and residential.
No, so think about it this way. We are chasing affordability on the residential piece. So it has to be 5 residential units. The 5
Okay.
residential units trigger us utilizing the building to do the renovation of the whole building. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay,
I know it's a
got it.
weird way of saying it, but yeah, the 5 units have to all be residential. The commercial units won't count for that 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
okay, got it. All right, thanks.
Anyone else?
Malik had his
Okay.
hand up, but he's muted.
Who? I can't
Malik.
see the hand, so.
Malik has his hand
Yep.
up, but he's muted.
Yeah, he's unmuted now. Go ahead, Malik. We can hear you. Malik, it looks like we can't hear you, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what, Malik, I'm gonna leave my number and my email in the chat. Feel free to just reach out to me and I'll answer your question directly, okay? Anyone else?
Hey, Jim, this is Javon Moore.
Hey, Javon.
Hey, so I just want to be sure. I know sometimes the text and the language of the ordinance is interesting. Is there a way or a place where this is maybe spelled out a little just as clear as you had presented it, in case we wanted to share this information with some other partner or what have you?
Well, you know, we share these decks at the end of each of the roundtables, Javon, if that would be helpful. So you can have access to the slide. We do have the chart that I showed you earlier on our website here. Now I know this can be a little crazy. You know, it has to be breaking down. So you're right, language language can be an issue with us sometimes. But you know, the quickest thing to do without, you know, kind of trying to pull what I just put together is to reach out and let's have a conversation, because you know we can get into the meat and potatoes in terms of what this is, and you know, and if there's a real project at the table, then we're going to connect you to our other partner, by the way, which is the Chicago Investment Corporation, CIC, who's actually managing the program for the city. So we can get into the weeds. If you need some general information, I say just reach out to me or Will, and we'll certainly walk you through that. If you have a project that you really want to entertain, just loop us into that, and we're going to loop you into the actual financial institution that's actually managing the program.
Thank you.
Jim, I received a question. Well, we have 2 here. Oh no, Malik, to your question, no, these do not extend outside the city limits.
No.
So that was one question I received, and another question is this just for developers, or can entry-level owners participate?
What a great question. We look at this program specifically for entry level individuals who have picked up buildings like this and own them and want to, you know, bring them back to life, or those emerging developers who are looking to, you know, literally get into this industry in terms of understanding how to, you know, redevelop these type of assets. Now, you know, you know, Javon did a great job of, you know, really signaling that language matters here. When I say emerging, you know, this is not necessarily for the novice, but you know, those of you who participate in this type of activity, you understand these are at numbers and at levels that are very accessible in terms of, you know, literally having the capacity to get into the game and start to build a portfolio of projects and assets for that matter. So yeah, we think this is a great way for emerging developers who are chasing these type of projects as, for their careers. Yeah, these are game-changing moments. You know, getting good at these, you know, help you graduate to all sorts of interesting paths in this industry. So we do look at it as entry, but again, this is not for the novice. You know, you would need to bring some capacity to the table here, but those who are in this game, they understand this is a great way to really get your teeth, to cut your teeth in terms of getting into this industry.
A few more questions, Jim. So with regards to this program, is it citywide? And if so, is the median income of the neighborhood the development is located in considered the median income for that project?
Yeah, well, I'm going to take the latter question first. So the median income is a very, very complex term that I'm not going to try to explain on this call. And we literally leave, you know, those details in terms of the median income for a particular area to CIC to make that determination in terms of what 80% of that means. So I'm not going to get into the weeds of that. But the first question is very interesting. So these programs are tied to what we call tax increment financing districts or TIFs. And so we've activated 14 of these TIFs to get started. Austin, most of the Southwest corridors are activated with this program. However, when Will and I literally went on tour, and he and I joke about that, you know, we literally talked to this and briefed every alderman about this program. And aldermen across the city literally said, when is this coming to my area? And so as a result, two things. One, Will and I want to certainly demonstrate there's demand to use this program. And particularly, we want to demonstrate that there's demand in BIPOC communities. There's demand in communities where we are aiming investment right now, where it allows for young men and women to get into this game and start helping to rebuild their own communities. One, but two, yes, we're going to go back to city council sometime next year and either ask for more dollars in the area, which we hope for. We hope that the dollars that we've got allocated for this program for Chicago Avenue and Austin right now, that you guys tap into it, and we need to go back and ask for more so we can continue to support this. But we're also going to be asking for additional TIFs to be lit up as a result of the success we hope we can demonstrate. And by the way, we tweaked this ordinance back in June. And, you know, without getting too ahead of myself, you know, we've got 5 candidates that are in the process of being reviewed as we speak. And that's a pretty quick turnaround. Now, we haven't closed them yet, but we are very hopeful. And we want to demonstrate. The best thing that could happen is that you choose an area to do a project like this because it just makes economical sense to you and your team. And we don't have it, and we got to go make an argument that there's demand to have it because you're at the table. Yeah, we don't have any trouble with that at all. That's what we hope for. Because when we go back, we want to go back for the communities and where we did light it up. And we want to go back to those communities where we got a list of people saying, activated over here, we're ready. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Well, I'm loving the chat, and I see we have another hand up. So Morris Reed, feel free to ask your question.
Yeah, and it's more of a comment than a question. I think this is a great program. We ourselves are putting in an application for it, but there's a lot of property owners that we work with on Chicago Avenue who also want access to this, but they need help. They need technical assistance because it's like you said, you can't really be a novice. Because even the application for ourselves, you know, it took some time for us to work it through, get with a contractor, you know, put some thought behind it, complete the checklist. But we don't have the capacity to help every property owner on Chicago Avenue that has a mixed use rental or residential properties.
Sure.
Is there going to be some thought behind saying, okay, we have this program and there's a group that can help people, just like with the other banking or business related, back to business related grants, to say, we'll help you look at it and work through it with you to get your application in to improve your property, because people love their property on Chicago Avenue, but it looks like crap. And they want to rent it out.
Yeah.
And they want to do stuff with it, and they want to use me, but I'm like, I'm too busy, dog. I can't help you, but work with the city.
Yeah.
And so if there's some resources that can help these property owners, I'll be more than helpful to make sure the property owners know that not only does the program exist, but there may be some technical assistance that can help you look at what you need to do to start getting your financials in order, to start getting your contractor in order, you know, to start putting your stuff together before the program ends. And then people see, they'll start blaming to the alderman and blaming to Malcolm and blaming to me and blaming to whoever. Why so-and-so the only ones who get the money?
Yeah.
You know, and why we didn't get opportunity to get the money, because they didn't have the expertise, capacity, knowledge, or relationship. But who knows what, but a lot of it is capacity, you know, so we really need to look at capacity.
No, what a great point. And I'm assuming that was Morris. Morris, was that you? I can't see. Was that Morris?
Yeah, that was Morris. Morris Reed from Westside Health Authority.
No, you raised a great point. You know, one of the things that we looked at with our SPIF program and our NOF program is, once you get selected for either one of those programs, you do, particularly with Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, and maybe I shouldn't speak so much about SPIF, but I know for Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, we have technical assistant advisors for construction management, for architectural and design help, and financial coaches, because we know that, because it's not just NOF, it's SPIF, it's state funding, it's federal funding. Filling out those applications, you need training just to do that in many cases. So part of what we wanted to do with NOF is to make sure we started putting in that type of support. You raised such a great point today that you got me thinking about that now. We don't have that type of infrastructure in place. We have CIC, and I know you're working with Jonah and Doug and their team over there, and they're pretty good at kind of helping. This is what I was kind of alluding to about this is not necessarily for the novice, but for those existing building owners, buildings like this, they have them, they're interested in renovating them and just need some support. Yeah, even though I want to say rightfully that we got CIC in place to help do that, we may need to rethink that. And maybe that's something you and I can sit down and kind of talk through what that might look like, because you're right. We need to arm this program so that people can successfully get to the finish line on these, particularly those owners who have these. Usually if there's a buyer who's looking to do this, they're bringing some capacity to the table to have that type of capacity to buy these things. But those owners who have them and for whatever reason, don't have that capacity, we need to be thinking through how to support them. So I would love to circle back with you, maybe after the holiday. Let's talk about what that might look like. I'm interested in
because we also have an SSA here, and we could look at bringing in a consultant and working with Malcolm and AAA BNA to do some joint, where we say, because my whole thing is give the existing owners an opportunity first, and not just attract new investors to take people's houses, take the city's money, and displace the people who I know they complain to me all the time and say, I wanted a chance to develop my own property. I wanted a chance to do something too, but I never got the chance. So let's brainstorm on how we could give the people who live here now, own these properties now, are doing some business, but got vacant apartments because they're in need of rehab. They're in need of investment.
No, count me in. I'm very interested in that. I'll loop in Will Edwards, who I think would be,
Malcolm, I think Malcolm should be in that meeting too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Between you and Malcolm, between you guys having, the chamber capacity for both the SSA and AAA BNA, we should be able to brainstorm and find some way to begin that support. And then if we're putting our heads together, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we came up with something that could be impactful.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't know if he was
No,
done.
I was getting ready to highlight you. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, my name is T. Angel Hodo, and I work with Allen Construction Capital Management, and we are in the area. We are located at 5607 West Chicago Avenue, and we are general contractors. So we would love to get involved in this program as far as becoming an investor, as well as being able to do some of the rehabbing too. So I would like to know exactly how could we get involved as far as being able to get some of those contracts and rehab some of those buildings, considering that we are in the area.
Sure. The easy answer is pick one. You know, there's vacant, but there's vacant buildings like this, as you know, all along Chicago Avenue. And in many cases, there's signs on them saying, come by me. So yeah, I would say, you know, and again, as a business model, you pick something that makes economic sense for you and your team. And once you guys have one selected based on, you know, what you see and what you guys can do and potential as a business model for you, bring it to us. Let's start talking detail. You know, that's how this starts. It starts with the selection of one of these beautiful assets.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so I think one last question to kind of summarize things. I'm going to dump in the chat your email address, Jim, because we're getting close to time. But also, there was a question with regards to if there's a page on our website with regards to the program, and I believe I don't know if you can answer that, Jim.
Well, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Do we have a TIF purchase rehab page on the city's website?
Yeah, go to cityofchicago.org and type in TIF purchase rehab right behind it. It should take you to that page. Okay. So if there are any other questions, I do want to respect everybody's time. Please reach out to me. I'm more than happy. You know, I can talk about this all day. Okay. So yeah, don't hesitate. I appreciate that Q&A, and that's the type of buzz that we hope to start creating across the city, but particularly in Austin, in terms of people getting excited about this program. So I look forward to that. With that, I want to move over to something that I think that is just really timely right now, which is getting an update from our corridor manager, but also just, you know, having us take a moment to just kind of reflect on what the heck we've been doing over the course of the last year. This survey is certainly going to, you know, be one, you know, very informative way for us to do that. But I think, you know, what you guys are going to find is that what AAA BNA has put together today in terms of just taking a quick glance in terms of what we've done over the course of the last year is going to be inspirational. So with that, Malcolm, I don't know if you or Corey want to take it from here, but the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim. And I see that you have us as the Auburn Gresham.
Oh, do I really? I apologize for that. Please
yeah.
Okay.
Good and catch. So what I just want to do is just continue to just beat the drum about how exciting it is to have this opportunity to be part of you know, the creation of Soul City and what's really starting to change and turn around in our communities and the opportunity to work together. This is by no means a complete look back, but when we start talking about the year in review, it was just incredible, some of the things that have happened in the corridor. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Corey Dooley, the young man who's been working and really been the legs behind what's happening on Chicago Avenue, and young legs and making things happen. I'm gonna turn it over to Corey.
Thank you for that, Malcolm. And Carolyn, I saw your little celebration emoji, so thank you for that. Carolyn, you've been very instrumental in this process. And I know that me and Malcolm operate as the corridor managers for Chicago Avenue, but we have a wonderful team here at AAA BNA. You know, Malcolm has really, you know, we've had to yank him in our direction, but he's really been, adamant about putting the young people at the forefront. And so me and him do operate as a corridor managers, but Kayla is always right there in those meetings. Sierra is always right there in those meetings. And so just wanted to give a shout out to them as well. And this wouldn't be possible without them. So without further ado, we are going to go through this review, and you can go to the next slide. So I don't know if you all remember, but in January, we started off the roundtable with 7 RFPs for the Laramie State Bank building. And that was really the catalyst for the Austin Invest Southwest. I know, Jim, that we were at the Invest Southwest a 2-year celebration yesterday. And so this is great momentum going into this roundtable. And so as you all know, out of those groups, the Austin United Alliance did get that project. And so like I said, that was the recap for January, and we can move to the next month. February, we had the Soul of Our History campaign, and this was done through the Corridor Managers program. And so the AAA BNA team had the pleasure of hosting this campaign. And what we wanted to do for Black History Month was really give you all, and it says it here in the title, the soul of our history. And so we really took a Chicago Avenue spin on it, a Soul City spin. And what we did was we honored the previous business owners on Chicago Avenue, really looking at most of these businesses are 2-3 generations. And so to be able to highlight, as you see on these pictures, we have Betty Hughes for Betty's Daycare. We have James Cole, the Shine King. We have Miss Eloise Beasley. We have all these different history makers, and highlighting them, and not only highlighting them, but highlighting the current business owners, which are the 2nd and 3rd generation business owners. This was a unique opportunity where we were able to get signage, have banners, and create a whole month campaign where each month we gave out the information on the business and also the business owners. And it really, for me, was a great way to connect with the businesses on Chicago Avenue and really start to build and create that relationship with these business owners in our corridor. Next slide. Thank you. And in March, we had a number of things. In this picture here, you will see this is Walmart came out, and they've heard about what's been going on in Invest Southwest and here in Soul City. We actually even did some work with Walmart as it pertains to them coming to our community. And so they wanted to make it a point to make sure that they visited our corridor, and they were able to tell our story as well. And so as you see Marcel Jackson there, who is owns 2 properties in the corridor, has Dream Team office suites that just opened up. And behind him is the Soul City Studios building that we'll get into a little bit later in the slide. We also have that winning RFP presented, Austin United Alliance presented. And so thank you to Athena. I'm not sure if she's on this call, but thank you to you and your team for presenting that. And lastly, we have the Women's History campaign where Kayla Palmore, who works in our office and is our NBDC Neighborhood Business Development Center coordinator, who put this campaign together and was able to interview different women leaders around the city. And I know that Alderman Mitz is on the call. Thank you, Alderman Mitz, for being one of those people to be interviewed. It was a great pleasure to interview. And so as we move to April, you can see this picture here is WeCycle. I know that I think David's still on the call. So thank you, WeCycle, for everything that you all did. We had the spring cleaning rally, and this was the first rally of many to come. And he expressed that he wanted to make this an annual thing. And as you can see in the picture, we have older and younger people. So he has a phenomenal team. They've been doing a lot of beautification work in the corridor. So thank you to you all. We had the Nof Winners announced. Some of those were Mr. Anthony's Cleaners. Not sure if you all have had a chance to come on Chicago Avenue and view that, but they have a beautiful front facade. We're able to get their parking lot redone. We had the Soul City Studios, and I know that there was one more, so forgive me if I'm missing that group. And then we also had the grand opening for Two Sisters Catering. And so in May, as you can see here, Kayla Palmore, the young lady who I just mentioned, a picture of her and the mayor at the Mother's Day event that Alderman Mitz put on. Thank you, Alderman Mitz. I know I've been mentioning your name a lot but you've been very instrumental in this process. And so that Mother's Day event was very well. We had the Cook County Treasurer come out. We had Congressman Davis out, and we shut down the whole corridor, had a vaccine bus, so that was great. We also had our CBC Grand Opening, which is the Chicago Business Center. Earlier in the year, Kenya Merritt, the small business, the chief small business officer for the city, was able to work with us, and we got these CBCs up and ready. Thank you to Kaji as well for running that program. Greatly appreciated for everything that you did. In June, we had the ribbon cutting at the Pop Courts. And so thank you for those. Thank you for that silent applause, Malcolm. And as you can see, Morris is on there, Alderman Mitz is on there, Vanessa's on there, Commissioner Cox and Malcolm Crawford as well. So that was a great moment to be able to kind of launch that magnet in the community. As we move to July, you can see we have a picture here of State Rep Camille Lilly and Malcolm Crawford on the Soul City float. And thank you to Dr. Lockhart. Not sure if she's on a call, but the Arthur Lockhart Resource Institute has been having this parade for 33 years. And for Dr. Lockhart to approach us and say, hey, I really want to put a lot of energy into what's happening on the corridor. I really want to put a lot of energy into Soul City. That meant a lot for us. So thank you, Dr. Lockhart. We were able to do that. And also Commissioner Cox, Jim Harbin, I know you were able to get to the corridor. And man, this was something that we anticipated just being an hour. And if I tell you, we were out in the corridor for about 3 hours that day. Jim Harbin and the DPD team, Mary O'Connor, walked that corridor for 3 hours, looking at every single property, seeing where can we make impact. Which property owners and business owners need these resources so that we can continue this development in the corridor. In August, the city of Aurora actually reached out to us here in the corridor and was very interested in this development, really interested in the Pop Courts. And so Vanessa Stokes and the SSA met us down there at the Pop Courts, and we were able to meet with some city officials from the city of Aurora to go there. They actually came here, and toured our corridor and even invited us to Aurora to kind of see where we can map out some spaces where they could kind of do the same thing. So just want to let you all know that is a testament to what we're doing here on Chicago Avenue. It's reaching all across the state. And so in September here, you see a picture again of State Rep Camille Lilly. You have our chairwoman, Charmaine Raquette. Not sure if she's on the call, but thank you, Charmaine, for everything that you do. We also have Sierra Poor, who's a part of our team. And she jumped right in, took full control of the Austin Power 5K that took place in September. That was awesome. We had about 500 people show up. And if I'm telling you, we had about 2 to 3 months to plan this thing. And so thank you to everybody that participated in that. We had the first ever Soul City Blues Fest. So thank you to Lydia. Thank you, DCase, for all that you all did. That was a phenomenal event. And I know that we're looking to make that annual as well. Thank you, Antonia Rupert, for the art walk. This was a 2-week event. And the art walk actually partnered with the Austin Power 5K. And so that was phenomenal because as people were running, they were able to see the different art installations in the windows. And so thank you again, Antonia, for that. And we also had the launch of the Citgo gas station mural. Not sure if you all have been to Laramie and Chicago Avenue. Beautiful mural. Thank you to Chris Thomas, Your Passion First, and also the artist Static that put that mural up. And there are definitely more on the way. As we head into October, you can see this is a picture here of me and Colin Andrews, who works at the Cook County Sheriff's. They have been very, very active in the corridor. They hosted a car light repair event where they shut down this they shut down the parking lot, and for about 2 hours had people from the community bring their cars in, and they were fixing their car lights for free because they were really concerned about the safety and really wanted to make sure that residents in the community knew that they cared. Thank you to Tom Dart. As you can see in there was a Fox 32 clip that came out. And I know a lot of what we see on the news is kind of, the bad and how shootings have gone up. But despite the increase in the city in shootings, actually in Austin, crime has gone down. And so thank you to Cook County Sheriff's for presenting that. And they actually contributed the Soul City corridor and the work that we're doing here on the corridor to that decrease in crime. And so thank you all for that. And then thank you as well to the Chicago Police Department for coming to present at our meeting and giving us those statistics. And so as you can see here in this picture, this is myself and Sierra. We were afforded the amazing opportunity to go to downstate Illinois, actually in Jacksonville, Illinois, and meet with the Lieutenant Governor. And this was a part of Main Street. And so thank you, Dion and Gustavo, who have been very, very instrumental. I can't thank you all enough for the constant corridor synergy trainings that you all have given us, all of the monthly meetings you all have spoke at, and given us these opportunities where we can come in and really see how do we build this corridor? How do we get non-for-profit? How do we get economic development, merge these two so that we can make these things happen? And so thank you all for that opportunity. Was able to learn a lot from that. And as we have here in December, Kwanzaa in the corridor, I'm going to pass it back to Malcolm so he can speak a little bit about that.
All right, y'all see how fast he did that? And talked about all this stuff that happened in the corridor that quick. Lord help us all. That was a lot. And that's just not even a part of it. But I wanted to tell you guys, and I want to tell Liz about something great that's happening, and that is the Kwanzaa in the corridor. Can y'all say that with me? Kwanzaa in the corridor. I'm saying that because this is an important piece. And what we're going to do, just like other communities do the holiday lights parade and all of that stuff, a lot of the organizations have come together. We were excited about Austin coming together, Westside Health Authority with the SSA, Holland over at the Cook County Sheriff. All of these young people decided to get together and they wanted to do Kwanzaa in the corridor. 7 principles for 7 businesses. This will be December the 26th through the 1st. We have partnered up with the ACP, Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, where they're going to be doing, they've added some corridor ambassadors and some resources to get up and down the corridor. We'll have a bus, a shuttle that will take people up and down the corridor to 7 businesses. We're asking people to come out, participate, be a part. Let's show these young people that we support them. Let's go in and out of these businesses and up and down Chicago Avenue and show our support for Kwanzaa in the corridor. I can't say that enough. And I just want to thank everybody. Jim, I don't know how you do it. I think it might be 10 of you, but the fact that you're able to be everywhere at the same time is incredible. Ernest was able to come out and participated in the 5K. I don't think he won, but he was up in the top 10, and Antonia for all what she's doing in the corridor. I just wanted to let you guys know Dion Bowe, if you don't know her, you need to know her, born and raised on the West Side, has been nationally pushing what's happening on Chicago Avenue. I just can't say enough for everybody. Morris has been a champion on Chicago Avenue, Morris Reed. So when we talk about what's happening, you guys, I don't think you guys understand the history that we are a part of right now. And when history books are finally told what happened in Soul City, it will be all of us who came together, different nationalities, everybody who converged on Chicago Avenue to finally have a place where Black people can showcase the best in their culture. I just want to thank everybody for everything that you continue to do to drive this home with Soul City, and happy Thanksgiving. And thank you, Jim, and hope you get some rest, because Lord knows I wouldn't want to be you.
Well, I tell you what, I look at the work you're doing, my brother, and I can certainly say the same thing. No, you know what? You guys have a special group here, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. So let's continue to work, and I can't wait to see what we put together at the end of next year. It should be very exciting. Yes, Alderman, is the Alderman still on the call? Well, with that certainly concludes our roundtable for November, guys. We are going to pause on the roundtables. Malcolm, I think we kind of agreed that holidays and kind of given kind of where we are right now, that we can let things breathe in December, and then pick this back up in January. The next roundtable is going to be January 19th. I will go ahead and make sure that the Zoom invites go out. There will be a copy of this particular presentation provided to you guys in the next day or so. And please look out for that survey that Caroline put together from this Chicago, where we need to hear back from this group, from this leadership group, in terms of how we might even make this even better. So we're looking forward to hearing about that and talking through that sometime early next year. So with that, unless anybody else has an announcement, I believe the Alderman had to jump off. I want to wish you guys a great, great holiday. Be safe. Don't eat as much as I intend to. And look forward to seeing you guys. If I don't see you sooner, and Morris and Malcolm, I'm probably going to see you sooner than the next year. But everybody have a great, great holiday. Thank you so much.
Yes, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Take care,
holidays.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Holidays.